Hey everyone, Rappin and Snackin here. About to review the new Apathy album. Came out earlier in March. The Widow's Son, his latest solo album. He just released an album recently with O.C. called Perestroika. That was also a good one. So I'm going to go ahead and review this. So Apathy's had a track record. Over 20 years he's been in the game. He made his debut on the 97 Jedi Mind Tricks album. Psychosocial, blah, 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 LP. I hear a little congestion in my voice, so I was just sick. I have phlegm here still, so I'm sorry about the phlegm, the weird voice. But let's just keep moving, whatever. I don't really know if I want to do a track-by-track review on this thing. I'll probably end up reviewing every track anyways, but I'm going to do it a little different. So Apathy starts this album off with a song called The Spellbook, which he produced. This guy just knows how to start albums off. Hell yeah, bro. He did it on Honky Kong, Connecticut Casual, Perestroika, album after album after album after album. He always gets you. Starts off with an eerie, noisy sample. He kills it. The chorus, it's kind of like a little whispery vibe. Amazing. Let's get into some of the producers who did their thing on this album. So Apathy and DJ Premier have the song The Order on this album, and oh my god, DJ Premier has like a very 90s-esque beat, great cuts on it. It's such an awesome beat. You can picture Guru rapping over this, rest in peace. Apathy just comes in flowing. He does a lot of that this entire album. It's going to be a song that you have in your playlist every year. It's one of those type hitters. So we get into the next legendary production. We got Buck Wild. This beat is like straight out of the 90s. It's like the 1990 Now project, seriously. That DJ Elohim, his cuts on here are spectacular. The Scarface with the Ghetto Boys. Oh my god, and Apathy incorporates the sample in his last bar in the second verse. It's just beautiful. For a listener, it's really dope to see that Apathy paid attention to it, that Buckwild did a phenomenal job, and DJ Elohim on the cut is incredible. We get just another legendary beat by Pete Rock, which this song is like, honestly, it's like, gives you such a hip-hop boner, like that you got Pete Rock on the track. You got Pharoah Monch on it, you got Apathy on it, people who've been in the game for over 20 years. Pharoah also being Apathy's biggest influence on the track with them, you know what I'm saying? And then they split that last verse together like a nice piece of pie. It's really just so soothing. And then you hear Pete on the hook. It's so dope. The track before, Hypnosis, kind of leads perfectly into this track because you hear like a little skit saying, Pete Rock, you're rich, ready to perform, or something along those lines. It's really, it's everything you wanted, and it was perfect execution. Yeah, Stu Bangus produced like 3 tracks off this. He did Chaos, which sounds like it could have been on Perestroika. Those horns were phenomenal. When Apathy dropped the sampler a couple years back, this was one of the songs I wanted to hear the most. Wow, Stu is just great on these beats. They have a few hitters in the vaults with The Recipe, with The Machine. Those songs are just awesome. He also does Legend of the Third Degree, which has like a Freemasonry kind of theme on it. No problem. It just makes me kind of zone out and listen to the beat and the flow a little bit more. But man, especially his flow on that second verse of Legend of the Third Degree, and the beat, how it drops parts of the instrumental off are just awesome. Rise of the North Star, also produced by Stu Bangus with App's partner in rhyme, Diabolic. The reason why I put that in quotes is because they're supposed to have an album, Sleeper Cell, which hasn't come out yet. That was dope. One slight problem I have with it is I'm not too fond of the chorus for some reason. It's not bad, I'm just not like super crazy about it. There's only like a few weak parts of this album, and I wouldn't even say weak, but a few, I guess, somewhat mediocre parts of this album, and that would be, I guess, that hook and the hook on Hypnosis, which is not a bad hook. It's just I'm not super fan of the Hypnotize Me. I've heard it on many songs in the past. Apathy, very wisely, this is one of his best casts on his albums, dude. Like, he brought AG from showing AG on here, and AG comes in with a switched up flow. Not like switched up like, you know what I'm saying, but like compared to Apathy's flow, it's very different. And I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this. It took me like 5 listens to truly appreciate AG's flow. And honestly, dude, AG may have took App on his own track. After really listening to that, dude, it really like kind of gets stuck onto you, you know what I'm saying? Like a little fucking little sticky thing, you know what I'm saying? He wrecks that, bro. AG goes in, dude. App with Locksmith also, they do great. Rise and Shine, the sample in the beginning, Be Nice People, that was hard. Apathy really enlists like such a great crew, such a great cast. The people who do the cuts on this album, DJ Elohim, Chumzilla, DJ Mechalek, Tone Spliff, Primo, Boom Boom Boom. He did some songs with hooks where there's rap on them and singing on them, and he does some songs with just scratches, which that sort of diversification really helps listening to this in the future and put it, straight through, from track 1 to track 14. One hook that took a while for me to kind of get into was Alien Weaponry. That Knots beat is so sick, and Apathy's verses are, fucking, they're heaters, They're little asteroids, floating out the asteroid belt, They're hard, right? And then you hear that chorus, and it's like the alien weaponry on me, and it's just like he slows it down. I wasn't too big on it, but then a few listens in, I got it, dude. I think maybe it was Evidence who told him to simplify it a little bit. Thank you, Evidence, for that. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Like I said, this guy, Apathy, he is such an elite MC. He really flows on this entire album, bro. This album, every single song, he is a master of the flow. And that's why it's so hard to nitpick. You can't really nitpick an album like this. You can nitpick like little things, like I said. And there's one main thing that I will nitpick at the end. But as far as his flow, his delivery, his execution, his production choice, his feature choices, they're all quite excellent. You can't really knock him on that. He's not the fastest on a beat by any means. He doesn't manipulate every single word, but what he does is he's so good at putting words in succession. He'll put a word that starts with M 5 words in a row, P 5 words in a row, and it'll make the listener just like automatically recognize it and be intrigued and be like, let's rewind that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit the rewind button on that, which you don't really hit the rewind button for fucking anything these days. So the fact that he's able to do that to the listener time and time and time again is remarkable. He does that throughout this whole album, dude. I put him in a class of like Corrupt, Redman, Tech Nine, Bone Thugs Family. He has a flow like that, not a flow like in their sense, but a flow in that class of just eliteness. And you have to take your hats off to Pharoah Monch. That song Stomp Rappers with M.O.P and Self-Titled, that was just dope, dude. Like, were you expecting M.O.P on a song with Apathy? Like, were you? I wasn't. Was I happy? Goddamn right. I actually like the C. Lance version, the remix, a little more. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's just dope, dude. It's hard as fuck. That might be, like, also kind of a concept track because of just who M.O.P is, like stomping and like wrecking shit. Like maybe that's a concept track. There are other concept songs on the album, like Obi-Wan, for example, where Apathy is talking about his father. It's his first ode to his father since his dad passed a few years back. You can tell Apathy, although you don't hear like a stutter in his voice, just the mellowness of his voice, you can tell it took him a long time to get into the studio. Even as he mentions, it took him 2 years to write the song. Just the choice of sample from Smoke the World, who always produces a banger on an Apathy album, the acoustic guitar, the Star Wars, then the other samples you have to close out the track. It was just really such a touching song, such a touching verse, and App really closed out the album well in that sort of sense. I see a lot of people online saying this might be Apathy's best work. You know, when something new comes out, it's natural for people to be like, oh, this is the best I've heard from the artist. Oh, this is the most trash shit I've heard from this artist. This is fucking garbage. This is possum, whatever. I don't think this is the best album. Honestly, it might be runner-up for number 2. It might be the number 2 album in his catalog, but you kind of have to let time sit on it, you know what I'm saying? You kind of got to grow a beard and think about it, you know what I'm saying, a couple years down the line, right? I'm going to say off the bat that there's no way this album can be better than Honky Kong, which I think is his best album. One of the main reasons why there's not too many concepts on this album. Like I said, there are conceptual tracks, The Widow's Son, we got Legend of the Third Degree, Stomp Rappers might be a concept track, I'll give that to you. And you have a song like Obi-Wan, which is a true concept track, obviously, an ode to his father. But Honky Kong, where you had concepts like The Recipe, where the Rappin and acronyms, him and Exhibit especially. You got Army of the Gods and Army of the Pharaoh's Demigods collaboration. You got 1:52 a.m., a story of 2 people in love, and then a crazy ex-boyfriend in the mix. You have more songs on there, Fear Itself, The Villain, It's Only Hip Hop, another straight up conceptual track about the do's and don'ts of being a fan. I Dedicate This to You, an ode to his wife. You have concept after concept after concept, you know what I'm saying? And that gives me another reason to not only rank that album up higher, but to show me that he had that much more thought into it. And just the production and the features he had lined up for that completely made sense, right? This album, the features and the production all make sense, but the lack of conceptual tracks halter it in that way in comparison to a Honky Kong album. Does that affect the rating in this album? No, it doesn't. But I'm talking as far as ranking is concerned. So that's one part of that. One thing this album does do very well, and I respect App for this, it kind of does seem like it can play in cassette format, because, you know, they release these cassettes these days, you know, because they made little comeback. I do like the samples he put in here as far as that movie or TV show or whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but he has segments of, I'm assuming, the same movie throughout this whole album on a majority of the tracks, I think. It adds some perfect segues for the album, because from certain songs it'll go on to the next song and it sounds good. It flows well. It flows like, you know, a river, what, Euphrates or Yangtze River or Yangtze River, Yahtzee, you fucking idiot, or the Nile, you know what I'm saying? It makes it flow, right? How can you truly knock this project? Like I said, there's just a couple dull parts. Some hooks are just okay. But honestly, thinking about it, I can't knock this in any other way. I'm giving this album a 9.25 body bags out of 10. Let's just say 9.25 body bags out of 10. That's what I'm staying with. You know what I'm saying? You're subject to believe what you want to believe. That's fine. Let's debate. Really, what is bad about this album? I would like to know your thoughts. What do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let's fucking fight, dude. I'm down. Or let's debate. Let's keep peaceful, right? Let me know. I really want to know if you disagree with me. Let's get into it, man. I would love, man, woman. I want to get into it for real. What are your favorite tracks? What are your least favorite tracks? I'll leave my top 5 in the description. Guaranteed it's going to change over the course of the next week, because although I've heard this album dozens of times already, it's the cut is still too fresh, bro. Like, for real. So let's talk in the comments for real. I want to know where y'all rank this album. I want to know if you were disappointed, if you were happy, what your favorite tracks are, alright? Also got my playlist in the description as well. I have my Apathy collection in the description as well, so you can click on it, direct link to see how serious this dude's catalog is. Like I said, been in the game for 20 years. Just look at that catalog, bro. I have some of it behind me like I do, just like being such a nerd per normal fashion. Appreciate y'all checking out the review. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Would you rather have reviews? Would you rather have other sort of content? Just hit me in the comments below. Appreciate y'all. See you next time.